You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show.
Welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx brothers. I'm Kyle.
I'm Kirk.
I'm Nick.
And we're here with quadruple threat. Model, actor, musician, and most importantly, improviser, Merritt West.
Thank you.
I was holding for applause.
Okay.
I'll add that
And what are we doing?
in. This is Avatar spoilers.
Yeah.
What would you like to get into, Merritt?
I want to spoil the shit out of this
Yeah.
movie. I'll tell you what happens right at the end.
Can you spoil this movie really? Like, oh, he becomes a Na'vi at the end. Okay. Like, the main character doesn't die. Oh my god. And, I don't know. Like,
Well, you can jump into that part. Okay, so the soul transfers from his body to the Na'vi avatar body, and they live happily ever after until Way of the Water.
I'm going to come down against the existence of the soul existing in the Avatar universe.
See, that's where I would also make an argument this is more fantastical because at the very end they use magic, more or less, from the planet to transfer his soul, not science.
Iwa?
Yeah.
Okay, so my argument for why it would be possible to take the data of a person's consciousness and apply it to another being is that, like, they've figured out, like, how much memory, like, in terms of gigabytes we have in our head, and isn't it like we have so many petabytes of data or something like that? But at a certain point, you can create a neural network that would be greater than the brain. So, like, a sci-fi way of explaining it would be, oh, we figured out that the trees have a network between them, like we think flora and fauna do in real life. And then they even point out that the neural network is so much more complex across the entire planet that it's more complex than the human brain. Therefore, the planet, through its neural network of just sharing data back and forth, could absorb and repurpose. It's like if you have a storage device that can handle as much data as in this, I can put that in here and then put it over there. The planet is just acting as a storage device.
Yeah, but I don't know, there's always that question of how much data do you actually need from a person so that they end up being the same person? You know that
Well,
Black
wait, am I
Mirror-
trying to sell you an AI thing that lets you talk to a dead relative? Because I'm going to tell you, no, we just need the recorder to look a few lines. Trust me, it's the same thing. It's your dead kid.
Yeah, but is it actually
It's
your
not.
dead kid? No.
No,
I
God,
mean,
no.
of course not. But it's not like doesn't get the personality right, doesn't get the mannerisms right. I mean,
Grok does that.
yeah, but at what point? How many like? Let's equate the
It can
questions.
be a bitchy little girl for you if you want.
But I doubt that you can have it copy a person.
Yeah.
Well, if your
Grok, I'm
approximation
saying.
of a bitchy little girl is Elon when he's on a lot of ketamine, then Grok can do that.
No, he's not a bitchy little girl. He's just like, oh, don't call it Subway, call it Hyperloop. It's not Subway. It's
I think there's another aspect of this movie that kind of falls in line with what we're talking about when you said it's magic. Well, there's another moment in the movie that's magical when the girl, Zoe Saldana, I don't remember the character's name, is going to kill him. She's going to kill him with their bow because he sucks. And then
He's a white devil. Let's be clear.
the little dandelion fluff comes along, and she's like, oh, and she gets the sign, like, oh, because the deity is all like, hey, don't shoot this guy,
He's
right?
special.
Iwa.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iwa.
Iwa spoke to her.
Iwa spoke to her. So there's another magical aspect, if you want to call it that.
I do find it interesting and have for years, like, what's the line between supernatural and science? And, like, if souls exist, like in the real world, like those are scientific. Science just hasn't discovered them and like dissected them yet. If they, you know what I mean?
21 grams is an argument for, like, when a person dies, they automatically get 21 grams lighter, theoretically. Maybe that's
Yeah,
just the movie 21 grams.
Well,
but
yeah,
I
I've
believe
heard of
that's
it. And
all
I don't know. I've heard of the movie, and I didn't
It
know
was
if
water
a real
weight.
thing. Yeah, it's when they shit out 21 grams of shit when they die.
The death rattle.
it's how much poop comes out. 21 grams.
Like, oh, you didn't realize there's exactly 21 grams of feces on the floor?
I just want to be very clear
Yeah.
that I am pro-America, but if someone dies on camera funny,
What's the funniest
Yeah,
camera death you've ever
Yeah,
seen?
what?
what's the funniest on camera death?
Does
Like,
that include plane crashes where you don't see the impact?
No. It needs to be seen.
No.
It needs to be
Oh, it
seen
needs to be
from a
seen.
clear, wide angle.
Oh.
That God did this one.
Man, I can't think of anyone I've seen. Oh, I've seen. Well, it's not. I
Like
don't.
naturally
It's not
Like
fun.
die?
natural. Well, because people are on camera
Quote
more.
unquote, yeah.
Yes, because people are on camera more. We're catching. Oh no.
But we're talking about deaths, though.
Yeah, like
And
I
they have
mean,
to be
they don't-
funny?
Like if in a live broadcast, if
I've seen on death cameras
like
or
when
on
Mitch McConnell
camera deaths.
reboots on camera, it's funny.
Well, that's funny, but yeah, it's not a death.
It's but so I'm saying God just decided. See, why aren't you on camera? Do that into the camera.
Yeah, that's it.
Well,
You got
$900, $900,000 from the alcohol lobby, so you don't get to have CBD anymore.
My father-in-law is very high up in the CCP. I think that's true.
Literally?
Not mine.
High? No, high up.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the concept of a soul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was. That's
How
right.
do you
where's
transfer a
the-
soul?
Well, I think the other thing would be like in terms of supernatural versus science fiction. Like, let's use a hard sci-fi like Blade Runner. Okay, would you agree that's hard sci-fi?
Not. No, I don't think it would. It's not
That-
hard
that's the
sci-fi.
similarity I see in. It's like it's used for the setup
Yeah.
and like kind of like Avatar.
And
So
then
they don't go into
they share the
the-
same degree of
Yeah.
sci-fi.
They don't go into they're not robots, but
Wait,
they're
You've
copies of
seen
humans.
Blade Runner. He has not.
You haven't seen Blade Runner
Well, not all of it. I
2049?
saw some of it.
He's seen a half hour of the first one and about 40 minutes of the second
Oh,
one.
that is weird. I've seen more of Blade Runner 2.
It's longer.
Yeah.
Battlestar
Percentage-wise,
Galactica with origami.
I'm too high for that.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is that it would have seemed like it was theoretical and it's supernatural. It's extra worldly to be going, oh, we're gonna have flying cars, which we still do not have, and that's because they assumed an energy revolution instead of an information technology evolution. Like, why do you need a flying car if I can just stay in my underwear and Zoom call you? I don't need to fly over to you and have this big important meeting
You
because
still gotta go to work.
we still gotta. Excuse me.
You still gotta go to work. People in the movie still gotta go to work. So that's why he has to fly to investigate a crime scene, more or less.
Yeah, but they were assuming what the future was going to be like. Is my point. They were
Yeah.
assuming that in 2019 we'll have flying cars, and obviously that's not what happened. And I would still like flying cars, to be clear.
Yeah.
Or something that can, pull itself off of gravity without,
You
I
know
want
the
those things
Beatles
flying.
do that.
The what?
Beatles.
John, Paul, and Ringo.
Ha! No, I mean like real beetles, the insects.
Mm-hmm.
They have like a weird kind of a electromagnetic
make 'em
hovering
hover?
thing. They like
Oh.
do a weird hovering thing. Yeah, I don't know.
Trippy.
It's trippy.
That
They
can
say
be-
nothing flies in a straight, or nothing travels in a straight line except for bumblebees travel in straight ass lines.
What?
Weird, huh? Isn't that weird?
Where are you picking up these?
Do they ever pivot? Like, do they have a straight this way, but then pivot and go straight that
90
way
degrees?
versus no curving? I understand, but like,
All I know is that they put a tracker in a bumblebee and that thing flew in a straight ass line.
so because if they can't turn, that means they're just going to keep going around the globe. Until they hit a
Oh,
climate that
right.
they can't survive, or they make it all the way back.
Well, they can
around.
go up and down, and then okay, we went straight line that way, go down. Okay, now we're.
Do bees ever go? How high do bees? Like they're probably like, fuck that. I want to be down toward the ground. Where
There's
the
not
flowers
enough
are."
bees. We know that there are not enough bumblebees. We
Sure.
should be, and there's too many restrictions.
I'm trying to bridge this weird thing where everybody's heard this theory that like bumblebees can't technically fly.
Oh, because their wings
Because their wings are way
yeah.
too small for their body. So I was kind of trying to bridge that with the whole beetle thing where it's like the beetles don't actually fly either. They have like this weird like
static electricity.
They have like
Okay.
a weird anti-gravity thing going on. So I don't know if there's a connection there, but we were talking about the soul.
Well, no, that's kind of because like it's. There's a thing in the Bible in Job where they talk about the weight of the winds, and everyone was like, "There's not
The
winds
weight
don't
of the
have
winds.
winds," but like now we know that the atmosphere is made up of matter. It's just dispersed. So like technically, wind does have an atomic weight because to have wind you need something atomically to be there because in space there is no wind.
Right.
So like these kinds of concepts and like. I fully believe that there are things we will figure out, like, could we do electromagnetic, static, electric propulsion up, in any meaningful way? And
Well, you've seen like where they get these little balls to hover inside of these standing waves.
Yeah.
And so you have an acoustic standing wave, and there's going to be compression and depression, compression and depression. Where there's compression, you can put a little like styrofoam ball in there, and it'll stay there because of the wave keeping it there.
Well, that's pressure, though, right? Because there's no such thing as sucking. There's only low pressure and high pressure. Like when you think of something like a suction cup, it's not that it's sucking.
The air on
Oh,
the
yeah.
outside
It's
is pressing down on it.
Yes.
Oh,
There's no such thing as sucking. There's high pressure and low pressure. Didn't you take physics?
No, I didn't.
Oh, well.
I think they just
I
got to
did
figure out a
not.
way to turn off gravity. That would solve everything.
Turn off. Well, gravity has to do with like things having atomic mass greater than because like that's for on Pandora.
Yeah, but
somehow.
gravity is a force.
Yeah, and like
Turn it off.
Just turn it off. Hit that switch.
In 2028, we'll turn off gravity.
we turn off atomic mass.
We'll turn the
We
gravity
just
will
have
be
to
done
light
now.
an atomic bomb, and it blows everything. But matter. You cannot create or destroy matter. So
You can transform it.
I totally agree. But then
Transform
on
into an off
Pandora,
button.
what?
Transform it into an off button.
Sure. So I want to try to discuss: do we believe something could be like the
Transferred?
floating planets they have?
They're
like,
not floating rocks or mountains or
well,
what have you.
arguably, since this is a moon, right? Like this is a moon of Jupiter, Pandora.
I
and
don't know.
The force from Jupiter could be pulling some of those, and it has to do with like the rotation of that moon. Like theoretically, there could be a hovering mass next to another mass because a greater mass is pulling those parts.
How do people define moons?
Because
Is
there was
it
like
just
a tide.
like something that orbits a larger body? Like our moon, capital M moon, has no atmosphere, but Pandora has atmosphere and is still qualified as a moon, not a planet.
Possibly because it's a different size
Uh-huh.
moon. Because don't they say at the beginning that it's a moon that's hovering another planet?
They show that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
hovering Jupiter.
Yeah.
It looks like Jupiter. It's got
Oh,
this
it's
big
not Jupiter.
storm spot.
Oh, I thought
Okay.
it
I
was
mean,
Jupiter.
it's several light years away.
But do we agree that the science fiction explanation is that it is a moon, there is a planet, and the floating?
Yeah, I buy that. Yeah.
Okay. Kind of like in Star Wars, they have two suns because it looked cool on the thing when they did it, and they're like, "Oh, it's space," that's what makes it look space. So, what didn't you like about this movie? Now that you finally finished it, I've been dying to ask.
What didn't? Well, I mean, I always just said I didn't. It was never my thing. Like what the reasons why I never saw it. No, I mean it was. You know what? The funny enough, the least tolerable thing about it was just the fact that I recognized like the cameras they were using at that time for
you
digital.
recognized it?
Yeah,
What
the,
were they?
the Sony F23 and like the HDC 1500 or something.
How
These
did you recognize it? Color?
No, just because there weren't that many options back then. It was a pretty new thing, and it's like the camera quality. I was actually kind of relieved when they'd go to like Pandora because like the live action stuff filmed on real cameras looks like it's very early digital, like small sensor, news camera size sensor basically, and it's like this is the same stuff this is the same camera they were shooting like the straight to video American Pie spin-offs around the same time, but with this of course has better lighting and production design. But like I'm seeing like the hallmarks of early digital, like the highlight roll off is pretty harsh.
They wouldn't have been shooting in 4K in 2009, would they?
No, these
So
were.
they've had to upscale these.
Yeah, which it has to be a fucking bitch because, like, I mean, it was 1080p.
See, that's
video
where,
footage.
like, is it really... Because James Cameron has removed the grain on
True Lies.
True Lies, and like, if you can remove grain...
Did he? I thought he did Terminator 2, didn't he?
I don't know if he removed the grain on Terminator 2, but, like, I assume they're using some sort of... It's not an agentic process, but it's some sort of, like, within the system it can...
Yeah, for the cleanup, yeah, like for a movie. So the thing with True Lies, you're talking about a movie that was actually shot on film, and it's hard to say what is the resolution of film because it's just a bunch of grains of silver nitrate. But like, they argue that 2K is like once it goes through all the generations for all the like the optical printing and stuff like that, you end up with like a 2K equivalent thing. So 4K is overkill, but like you're never going to need another edition of that movie if you get a 4K of that movie.
Of a film?
That was shot on film, yeah. So you're coming down like film is like from VHS, DVDs, and to a slight degree Blu-rays. We're just coming down from the original quality a little bit because a Blu-ray is like HD, is just a sliver less than 2K.
1080p versus 2160.
Yeah, well, no, 2160.
Oh, sorry.
Like is.
That's 4K.
That's Ultra HD because it's not exactly, it's 3840 wide. It's not 4K until you hit 4000. But like, it's exactly twice HD. It's 3840 by 2060. But like,
But 2K is in between 1080 and 4K. I understand that.
Yeah, it's just a very small, like 2K's 20 something, but it's negligible. But yeah, movies that you could figure were about 2K quality, you're coming down and you're degrading to go to VHS and then DVDs and a little bit to Blu-rays. So 4Ks like are over. There was no degradation, so that's just a resolution thing. But like the cleanup that they're doing is not. That's where the AI comes in. I think is what you were talking about. AI.
Oh, because they have to go. At some point, we have to create more pixels and.
Well, no, I mean, yes, because there was no 4K master of True Lies because they printed it to film. So image quality wise,
sure, you're talking about film. I was talking about 2009. They didn't shoot. They shot this digitally.
It was digital. Yeah, it was on two Sony like F23s or something like that, and they had small sensors, and they were like compared to like film, and they were only 1080 quality, 1080 resolution.
I wonder, and this is me, a layman, going, because you have two cameras, you have two sets of data. So then can you feed those two sets of data into some sort of, interpolation AI that can get you 4K pixels out of what originally was two 1080 feeds?
I mean, nowadays you could like theorize about it, like it sounds like something that AI would do, but they're from different perspectives. Is the problem, and like you know what I mean? Like that they were doing that on purpose for the 3D. So I there's already interpolation that happens with most of these cameras anyway.
Yeah.
Like because they have most of them. It's green, red, blue, right? But they have two greens for every like quadrant of like 2x2 pixels or photo sites. Two of them are green. And it's interpolating. It's like there are now some cameras that do have the same number of pixels, color photo sites of equal. Okay. But like so there's already interpolation happening, and is that AI? I don't know. But like I mean. What are we talking about? We're talking about could you put two cameras that are side by side are not gonna. I mean,
they're not going to be able to.
Not technically,
because at some point they're creating something new by creating more pixels from like you got 1 pixel, and you got to create 4 inside of it. And this one's going to be that shade of green, and this one's going to be a different shade of green.
Yeah. I mean, if we're talking about, because we were talking about like cleaning, like were we talking about like cleaning?
Because we've got 4K Avatar. Like I watched Avatar in 4K, which is theoretically a higher fidelity than I watched it when it was at the Navy Pier. Yeah. IMAX. So for the live action video portions, there's no way it would have to be an upscaling, which maybe it qualifies as AI, maybe it doesn't. Depends. But yeah, it is doing what you're talking about, no matter what, whether it's AI assisted or not, because we've had upscaling things since before the current AI craze. Well, yeah, we've had AI since the 70s or maybe the 60s, to be clear.
Yeah, so it's debatable if you want to call it AI or not. But yeah, it's math. It's but depends on how they did the visual effects. Yeah, it depends on how they did the visual effects. Like if they had the original like models and the environments and stuff, they could go back into that and like
easy to upscale.
And just change it. Oh, it's 4K now, and you have to re-render it. But like, it's a true, that's better than like taking the finished product and upscaling it with an algorithm.
Maybe to fund that process, that's why they put Avatar 1 back in the years.
Maybe,
By the time they get to 2, it's like, all right, so isolationism. Is this movie for isolationism or against isolationism?
I don't think it's about isolationism.
Are you kidding me? This movie is very similar to Black Panther in its like thoughts around isolationism. The conclusions are different. Like,
in what way?
I'll tell you what I think.
All right.
I think it's hilarious about how like when I was growing up, you'd see these alien movies, and the aliens were trying to come to Earth to take our resources. Right? Or they're going to take our water and and whatever else. Galactus is going to just eat the whole planet, apparently.
Don't get him started again. He doesn't know what Galactus is.
Never mind.
Don't explain Galactus to him.
So here we are, we're the humans, and we're the aliens now, and we're coming and we're going to take their resources,
We literally have nothing to offer them, I guess. I would argue that the individual soul that Jake Sully provides is an addition, but you have more to this thought. Well, we'll save that. I want Mayor to complete.
That was kind of it.
Okay.
Addition of his own soul.
Well, okay, so the movie is clearly saying that, like, hey, you fucking colonizers coming here and trying to take our resources. Not nice. And now instead of the aliens being the ones coming here, we're the aliens, like Merritt just said, going there, and it's clearly a metaphor for, I said colonization, one could argue, and I started with, well, if the Na'vi had been more isolationist and been quicker to, like, go kill the humans and keep them out, that would have been...
Well, I think they knew they couldn't win. That's why they had to wait for a white guy to come around and save them. I don't know. I mean, come on. There's no way. Do you think they could have really won without Jake? I don't think they would have, right?
Well, they weren't interested until he was like, I'm a warrior.
Until suddenly
Jarhead clan.
Iwe was
they're like, oh, you're a warrior. Okay, well, we'll talk to you. Which is weird because, were they always fighting with the other clans? Is that the idea? Why is their society so warlike when they're supposed to be all peaceful?
As we learned from the other ones, there's the water tribe that they hadn't interacted with as much.
Are they Na'vi? Because technically, wouldn't they be like Homo sapien and the Neanderthals? I mean, 2 different evolutions there. I mean, are they Na'vi or are they not?
No,
they're not, right?
Well, it's like, is Shaq a person and Wee Man a person? Yeah, they're both persons.
No, I'm saying they're 2 different species, though, right? They're not Na'vi.
A dwarf and a giant are the same species. They're just different manifestations of, like, it's kind of like how there are groups of people that from one part of the world are shorter, and then there are people from another part of the world that trend taller.
These are just Na'vis with fishtails?
These are Na'vis whose braids and tail have developed, There are people with more webbed feet than other people. There are people with red hair.
To me, this is like not an entire quote-unquote race of subspecies that has tails and mostly...
I'm uncomfortable using terms like subspecies. I think they
would... What would we call... I don't know if they specified if they were Na'vi or not in the sequence.
I assume they all have 23 chromosomes or whatever the equivalent of that is. Or whatever the, software that is the software for every human is 23 chromosomes. Whatever it is for a Na'vi, I assume that the water people, and this is getting off into Way of Water, and Nick's like going, what's going on?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, when I'm 56, maybe I'll see that.
Are you coming tomorrow to the third one?
Fuck no, I haven't seen the second one.
You don't need
You don't need to see the
I
second.
mean, I have heard that 3 is just a redo of 2, or like just this. You know,
I heard
2 is a redo of 1.
well,
2 is a redo of 1. Come on, the bad guy comes back.
Whoa, okay.
The bad guy comes
You've
back.
seen the second one, right?
I saw it, but
Hey,
I
I didn't
don't
specify
remember
who. It could be humans.
I don't remember it.
Sure. I would argue, just to quick get that out of the way,
What?
it's different because they're coming back, like, they're going through the same evolution, the character arc that Jake Sully went on. That character you're referring to is going on, but because they are not pure of heart like our hero Jake Sully, they end up in a different place
In the second one?
in the second one.
No, it's a repeat of the first one because essentially he has to relearn almost everything about the new culture of these fish people. Sorry to call them fish people, but you're introduced to a new world, and so he has to reconnect with
You're
one.
literally not being introduced to a new world.
No,
it's
you
the
are.
Same,
You
it's
are.
The same
Technically,
moon,
you are.
A different side. Like you've gone
Yeah,
from
but look at-
America to Europe. You've
But
gone
you're
from
essentially
India
being introduced to a
China.
dragon that's just in the water that he has to reconnect with. This is the same movie again. This is Avatar 1 again.
but
It
in
is.
the water.
Well, in the
There's
water,
a big
yeah.
bird, except for it's underwater
Yeah,
this
it's
time.
a big fish.
It's a big fish.
There's different resources that are being used
And he
for
has to
different
get accepted
purposes.
by the new clan again, like in the first one.
But it's different because
Because there's
of
fish
what,
water.
it's different because of what happens at the end of the movie. It's different because of the position our hero is starting from, and the addition of other characters into this journey.
I also don't like how it starts because why do they run away in the beginning of Way of Water? Like, were they fighting at the end of this first movie and now they're running away? Like, what are we doing?
I
here?
didn't get that either.
Yeah, why is he running?
I don't know.
They've become more nomadic since the tree was knocked down in this movie, and that was kind of the thing. Is like I couldn't remember when the tree got knocked down, but that's your end of the second act, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like to me this movie. Yeah, it's 2 hours and 43 minutes, but I'm failing to see what I would take out to make it.
less
yeah, no,
less
I
he
know.
becomes human.
Do you have?
No, I was asking myself the same thing. At the same time, I was like, why does this need to be fucking 3 hours long? But I also couldn't. It would be just a bunch of really, really small trims, probably, like, you know, rather than like you don't remove a hole.
Is it when he's like, oh, I'm looking at this cool thing, and then here's my...
Yeah, stuff like that could go.
See, and this is where he and I usually are on different pages when we're editing, is that I would go faster, and in this, I'm okay to live in a moment because I, the viewer,
Yeah.
am taking in data from the storyteller of, let me countenance this thing. Oh yeah, here's me seeing fantastical thing.
Yeah.
And then cut to Jake Sully's face. I'm just going to keep calling him that because it's funny to me.
Yeah.
And it's what CCH, Pounder's
Yeah.
character, calls him.
And that's weird because why would she pronounce the U that way? Like all of a sudden.
Well, that's the whole thing is they wrote a goddamn language for this fucking peoples, and it must be based on something, but like... And then they made a bunch of, millionaires memorize this fake language to continue being millionaires. And I mean, not all of them are millionaires, but many of them are millionaires. I just can't get, like, somebody seriously sat down and thought about, okay, and then the word that means this means, that.
Hey man means calm.
Wait, was it?
I'm pretty sure.
I wonder what the Navi word for unobtainium is.
Yeah.
Earth?
Yeah,
Or
there you go.
land or
Rock.
planet? Yeah.
Rock.
I don't know. So it doesn't do anything for... You were confused in the last segment. I'm jumping to a different thing. That they're riding horses when you see them on those things. Like
No,
when
I wasn't confused. I'm saying this alien planet is not alien enough, and these animals we see are just our animals with extra limbs.
So no, here's the thing we didn't get to in the non-spoilers was the reason they have two eyes is because of the bioluminescence.
Which animal? The horse?
Oh, okay.
Well, the whales have it. The horses have it. There
are no whales in this first one.
Sure, but you know they do.
Yeah.
And then there are other things you see that have the eyes.
Multiple eyes, yeah.
Like the
So there could possibly be more information being shared that we're not even seeing because of this
I buy that. Sure.
Like there could be
But
other light.
But isn't the debate here if it's alien enough? Yeah, they're riding horses.
So to me, the concept that's very like, it goes back to the like theme of this, like, because I do think there's the dear colonizer kind of thing, American Empire, like, oh my God. But then there's the how have our lives become wildly different in 2009 than they were in like 1984 when Terminator came out, or 1991 when Terminator 2 came out. It's the internet. And like to me, there's still a big thing with like going into another being and then operating that.
But here's my problem.
I still haven't gotten to my point.
I know, but these Navis are more connected, way more connected than people on the internet.
This is what
That's
makes it more alien, is that their world exists on having to link into shit.
I know, but
you have to plug into the internet.
The problem is it can't be a metaphor for the internet if the internet makes people feel so much more disconnected. But in this movie, the Navi seem pretty connected to everybody else and everything else.
So one of the things that we like to, as the American Empire going against people in the world, is like, oh, look at this religiously run, native group. Like they're all insert religion, and that we're not a theocracy over here, even though Ted Cruz says we're at war because the magic thing he interprets from his magic book, which I happen to share, quote, theoretically the same faith as, well, I think he's probably a heretic. So these people have clearly a religion, and they have a leader, like a governmental leader, and then they have a spiritual leader that seem to operate, and also how they worship their deity is by being more connected to the earth. One of the things modern technology has done, take the internet out of it, is made us more sedentary and made us less connected, as you've pointed out. So what's good about this people, what I think Big Jim is trying to tell us is we need to get back to the earth. I'm a big environmentalist. If we were all touching grass, like on some level, it's that. But also, the internet has made it possible
the metaphor is that we shouldn't be using the internet as much?
No, it's about balance and how you use a tool. The internet's just a tool. If you're using the tool so that you dislocate from the earth and dislocate from people, that's not good.
But
you're not touching grass and seeing people.
But Jake Sully used the internet, quote unquote, to connect with these people to save the planet. So technically, we do need the internet then. Wouldn't that be a debate for the internet so that... Ultimately, or am I taking this too literal?
Potential. I mean, any of us could take anything too literal, but
I'll tell you what I thought when they have their pets, right? They've got the bird pet and they've got the horse pets, and they can connect to these pets on this like metaphysical level where it's like their commands are just automatic. So that they're like our bodies are acting as one.
Well, the thing they used to fuck, they have to also use to connect with animals.
Is that what they use? The back of their head?
I don't remember that. I saw it today. I don't remember. They don't attach the
things.
That's
that
something.
Never
happens.
I think that's an SNL
parody.
thing. Or that's a parody thing that has now infiltrated my brain through Mandela effect. No, dude, they gotta make the air things in their brains go...
Well, there was their evolutionary connection to the mycelial network that the planet is operating on, right? The neural net. It's like a mycelial network.
Wait, what is a mycelial network? And for a second there, I was like, what?
Yeah, that's exactly what you were talking about when you said even in our planet there's a network of where plants can communicate and share resources.
Oh, like coral reefs and stuff like that do that too. Is
Right.
is it a mycelial network when
Yeah.
coral reefs do that?
Oh, I don't know if they call it that, but it's
Okay.
basically like mushrooms, fungus. It's a fungal thing.
Wait, you're saying the mushrooms are in cahoots with each other?
Oh, fuck yeah. Not only in cahoots, without cahoots, and out of cahoots, and around cahoots.
Uh-huh.
Anyway,
That's why Super Mario eats them.
it's a hypercubic cahoots.
Wow! Nick, what are your thoughts on mycelial networks and or the internet?
The internet as a metaphor in this
Well,
movie.
I mean, it was seeming from my listening to the back and forth, like, I don't think there's a metaphor there about the internet because, I mean, just to say, just for the technology that they use to slip into like avatar bodies, I don't think that on its own enough is like a metaphor for the internet. I don't think, but if it was trying to, like, there's more, like, it does seem more like they would be more like touch grass people, like that does seem more like the. Well, unless the Na'vi are like MySpace, and well, MySpace was on its way out at the time, but like the new Facebook, they're the shiny new like social media thing.
Oh my God!
And like
blue.
Jake's joining,
Yeah.
and Jake's getting his Facebook. I mean, you can make any metaphor you want out of it, really, I guess, but I don't think it was really about that.
It's about social media because this was right before we all got smartphones, and then you had Facebook in your pocket all the time.
I don't think that really.
Culturally, that was what was going on at the time.
I know that's what was going on, but just because it was going on culturally doesn't mean that's like that's
Yeah.
the thought. But think
that's
about
why
it.
this movie made $2 billion.
Think about it though too.
Born
Like
in
he was
2005,
working on
like
this
you said,
for like
right?
5 years before, like
Yeah.
before even MySpace. So
So wait, what was it?
he was writing this like in 2005.
Yeah, 2005. So it's been a few years before my Facebook.
Yeah, but
And Facebook didn't
but
go
we all agree that
quote
the-
unquote public. They only allowed college students to sign up for Facebook.
My point is that
Mm-hmm.
the significant change in the world in the 2000s was how the 90s internet, big explosion and what the bomb.com, all that going forward. But then after the crash in the 2000s, it was like something different. YouTube happens in 2005, and like I said, Facebook only college students in 2005. And then how these things have now impacted our lives since then, the 15, 20 years since then, and 15 years since this movie. I don't know, this just seems like a cultural artifact that is closely tied to that time and may have had cultural impact because of that.
Yeah, but
I think
just
it's
don't
more.
see it.
I think it's more connected to what you were already talking about, like the war. Like the events that were happening in the world more than that. Usually, when movies are commenting on, if you look back over the decades, when they're commenting on whether it's like you can say, oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre was about the Vietnam War and stuff like that. Through the decades, there's always something you can say. This movie was commenting on this thing that was going on at the time. If it was commenting, but it's usually critical of the thing it's commenting on, because otherwise it wouldn't be commenting on it. If it was like, oh, that's awesome, it doesn't have anything to say about it, so it's going to comment on the war and the whatever social unrest, whatever's going on. Usually, like, critical of the things that are, maybe not necessarily like if they made a movie like nowadays about like social unrest, it probably wouldn't be critical of the social unrest. It'd be critical of the maybe things that you perceive as the reason for the social unrest. But like, that's getting off topic.
That's like The Dark Knight Rises is, let's criticize Occupy Wall Street. That's it. It's been
So that's probably the exception to the rule, right? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? Most movies that were, if any other movies were made around the same time, that it was probably more, the metaphor probably would have seemed more pro Occupy Wall Street if it was really about that.
Yeah, the liberal cuts in Hollywood probably would go in that direction.
So
Sorry,
you're
I
trying to make a metaphor out of the internet, using the internet as like the way they're connecting, or the way the guy is being the avatar. Is that it?
Oh, that was the initial thing, and like, the Avatar in common parlance was my avatar in the video game, and it in 2009 and still today. But actually, you're pointing out the mycelial network kind of points out to me that like the good version of the internet is people being able to explore other parts of the world they would have not otherwise been able to explore as easily, and the good human beings connecting with one another, and the sum being greater than the parts, the sum of the parts, and that is there some elevation we have gotten, from that, and again, like it can both be bad and it can be good,
Right?
But the bad corporate interests and military stuff, the fascistic guys might do some bad shit. We got to come together and stop them with our connection to the earth and each other.
So there's another metaphor, and it's maybe a little more metaphysical, a little more personal, is that I think around that time people were also kind of like awakening to the fact that, I don't know, there's a higher mind. There's a higher mind. You kind of have your regular physical mind that perceives everything around you.
Some third eye stuff.
A little bit. But there's like, the idea is that you have a conduit to a section of yourself that is maybe a little bit expanded than your physical self. There's a connection.
Like a big Na'vi is a metaphor for how you perceive yourself.
So when the guy goes into the Na'vi as the avatar, it's the higher mind going into your physical body as its avatar. Does that make sense?
Ooh. Wait, so the higher consciousness that exists outside of all of us, we exist as individuals, and sometimes we tap into this higher consciousness.
Sure.
And I'm more trying to understand the idea. This is literally like a conversation the other entity that occupies this body had today about something very technical. Like, wait, is this what you're saying? Because I think you used a bunch of acronyms I don't understand. Higher mind. Okay. So you're saying there's like a mycelial network of some sort of celestial consciousness, to use other words to describe what a higher mind can or would be, maybe?
Yeah, that's actually pretty good.
I can buy these as ideas that were like inspiring that inspired the premise. Like social media, like, oh, you're inhabiting like your online persona or whatever, and also what you're talking about too, and also like people having a higher, like thinking about the existence of a higher mind or whatever, and like all ideas that are circulating that could like contribute to it. I think I would totally buy that they inspired the premise. I don't know if if they meet the threshold for like a metaphor. Yeah. Probably low battery on that thing, but
we gotta wrap up soon.
But I buy like that they inspired the premise, and like you can be trying to say little things here and there as a filmmaker, like finding little parallels, like with social media or higher mind stuff, and like be saying little things here and there without it being a whole metaphor, I think.
Do we believe in the concept of the muse? I don't know that I do. I struggle with it myself. Like that there's a higher consciousness. You do or you don't?
Yeah, I do. I mean, why wouldn't there be a muse? I mean, it doesn't have to be like a person or a thing. It could be anything. Something can inspire you to write about anything.
Define muse?
Yeah, it's kind of a vague, broad definition.
Okay, so there are ideas exist outside of us, and we just sometimes access them through possibly muse, and you connect the dots. That's a great way to say it. And just by connecting to this higher mind through muse, like, again, I'm not sure I believe in the concept of a muse. Like, does it come from inside me, or does it come from externally, like some greater consciousness?
Both.
Well, you got to give yourself permission to do it. You know, you got to say, or there has to be something that allows you to be connected in that way.
Right.
You know.
Well, and you can do it in the opposite direction, where like people on the internet often are more like hyperbolic. Like they're meaner. They'll say, I would say something way worse on the internet than I would ever say in person. That's not true for me, but that's true of like most people, we agree. So maybe.
Yeah, and a lot of times I just think they're trying to be funny. Like people would say offensive things to me. Just growing up in Wisconsin in the 80s and 90s, I'd hear offensive things, and
Wait, do you mean because you're a person of color?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And like
I'm sorry that that
the only one, except for my brother and sister. But I would think a lot of times I understood where they were coming from, and they were just trying to be funny, but their sense of humor sucks, So I give them a go. I give them a pass. I'm like, whatever, dude. You're just trying to tell a joke. Your joke doesn't have to be funny. I don't have to be offended by your stupid joke.
I feel like I've been the offender of that kind of thing, and everyone pauses and goes, "What?" And how like you see a tall person and you ask them, "Oh, have you ever considered playing basketball?" Yeah, dipshit.
Right.
Everyone like asking
Right.
it. Is it kind of like that? Is
The
that
same
what you're saying?
exact thing. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. See, and that one wasn't racial.
Great job.
When they say blue monkeys, is that implicitly racial in this? I wrote that as a note.
Blue monkeys.
They
No,
said,
I don't
when the
think.
blue monkey.
Maybe they have tails. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, it was literal. I don't know. Is it racial if it's literal?
I don't know, and to some degree, this was a very Star Trek kind of thing. It didn't seem like,
Really?
in the sense that like Star Trek was progressive at the time for having a multicultural cast, where even a Russian who were the dirty commies were our enemies at that time, and he's a white.
Yeah, but there's only one person of color in the movie, isn't there?
No, well,
The two. There was a scientist and the military gal.
Blue
Yeah.
doesn't count.
Blue?
We start to
think.
get into like, does Michelle Rodriguez count as a person of color?
Why
And
doesn't
I
she?
don't. What?
Why doesn't she?
Well, sometimes they say like BIPOC excludes Hispanics
Oh, okay.
and Asians.
BIPOC excluded Hispanics?
Yeah, it's,
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's black and indigenous peoples of color.
Yeah, but people of color
I don't
yeah,
like
we're not gonna argue that, but-
segmenting to this degree. Segmentation is good for network security. I don't really think it helps in the mycelial network of humanity one another.
Counting the blue people? Yeah, I don't think the blue people count because they're
Blue is
Navi.
white. Blue is white. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, and the water people are slightly different blue.
Light blue or
So
something, yeah.
the dark blue and the light blue don't like each other.
No, they don't hate each other.
They just don't know. They're not. They're unfamiliar with one another.
Starbelly Sneeches.
I think
We gotta put up a wall to keep those light blues out of here.
I think the fire people definitely hate the blue people though.
Yes, there's something going
Yeah.
on with the fire people in 3.
Are the light blues bringing fentanyl?
Fentanyl.
Fentanyl.
I
Did
know.
you know it's pronounced fentanyl?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a weapon of mass destruction. Do you know right now the current leader of the country has probably just finished up his wag the dog speech about we're going to war. We have to go to war with these dirty Venezuelans. It's because they stole our oil. It's right there in the name, South America. It's our oil. We're the king of America.
Yeah.
And don't pay attention to Jeffrey Epstein. Also, do not watch the movie Wag the Dog. Where he goes to war. They fake a war to distract from the president having sex with a Girl Scout.
Right.
That's the plot of that movie. 1990s.
Yeah, watch our commentary on it. You
Then
know,
there was
episode.
also Canadian Bacon. If you haven't seen that, you
I haven't seen Canadian Bacon.
Do you know what that is?
I know it's a movie. Isn't it Steve, the short guy?
Steve?
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Isn't it?
Oh no.
Am I thinking of Strange Brew?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
thinking
no.
of Strange Brew.
Canadian Bacon is Michael Moore's only narrative film. It's a Michael Moore movie.
What?
It's Michael Moore.
Okay.
They go to war with Canada.
Wait, it's bigger, longer, and uncut?
Wow, man.
But
It's from
in
it's
Canada,
from 1995. It's like John Candy's last released movie.
Damn.
It's not his last shot, but it's his last released.
Okay. Well,
So.
I'm sorry.
That's good.
I feel like that goes into our
It's not the
conversation.
wag the dog line.
Nice.
No,
Well, Mayor, any last thoughts on Avatar?
Jeez.
Just so I can wrap this up.
Okay, yeah. My last thought is in the beginning, like Jake Sully, as you like to call it. He's all, I got legs, I can run. I sound like Keanu. I'm gonna run, and he's running through the training grounds, and there's all these other fucking avatars, like 15 of them out there. What happened to them? Where did
Right,
they
yeah.
go?
Where did those guys go?
Where did those guys Yeah, I know.
they didn't embrace it as much. They were all a bunch of fucking nerds.
Oh.
They needed somebody who wasn't a fucking nerd to come in and be like, yeah, I got this shit. And I mean, that has shown to sometimes exist within reality, where the person who you didn't expect, the outsider, comes in with new stuff.
Yeah.
That camera died.
The chosen one comes by and saves the planet. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah,
And that's
camera's
where we
dead.
wab it. I am gonna get that camera.
Oh, dude.
No, but
Oh,
that
it
camera's
died.
dead. You got to turn around to that camera and end the show that over there.
It's
Well,
it's on a
this
50,
end of the
so
episode.
you probably gotta
Have a good
you gotta get,
night.
like right on the couch.
Oh.
Kirk ended the show. You didn't see it. It's fine.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN.
Who's seen 2010?
I have, but
sequel.
I don't
It's not
remember
very
it. It's not very good. It's so weird. The time travel-y stuff is weird.
Yeah, you know, there's a sequel to 2000.
I do. I've seen it in the Blu-ray out there, and I've been like, I haven't even watched 2001.
Okay.
But I do like how the Planet of the Apes movies, like 2 through 5, you know, like 2 is really good, and I feel like 4 is really good, or something like that. Are you playing?
The new ones,
No, the old ones.
Charlton Heston ones.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Charlton Heston's only in the
In
first and second.
oh.
What's 2? Battle?
Oh, the newest one?
From no, of the old
Of the 70s.
original.
It's the one where they blow up the Earth at the end.
Oh,
Oh, cool.
And then they go back, and then you find out that someone was. They basically redo the first one and the second one, but they add a bunch of stuff, and then they destroy the Earth, which makes it like, whoa, you guys did it. And then, like, how are they going to make another one? And they go back in
Reboot,
time
yeah.
to the third one.
So he's like, you blew it up. You blew, and then they really did blow it up.
Yeah. Well, because the theory is that, like, the new movies could exist in a continuum with the old
yeah.
movies.
That's what I always thought. Yeah.
Does it start over?
It's like a prequel series.
Yeah, because the Earth is destroyed in 2170 something. What
Are
year
they
is
making
it?
another one?
Wait, are we recording right now?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Oh, please put this
Just
in at the end of the Avatar.
yeah.
I don't know if it made enough. You can't buy the disc very easily, which pisses me off.
Wait,
Wait,
the
Battle?
Kingdom you were
Kingdom
talking
of the Planet of
did
the
not
Apes,
make
yeah.
enough?
What?
Did not you said didn't make enough?
It did okay, but I don't think it did like gangbusters because like F1 did more a year or two later.
Oh.
But Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I watched several times, and you can watch it without the
CGI.
without the CGI on.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, because they're doing the Pandora or the
They're
Avatar
motion
thing.
capture on site motion capture, not
Yeah,
in a,
yeah. So it's
not
the
in
actors with the rigs in front of their faces.
not on a fucking pickleball court, like with
Yeah,
balls.
'cause they're
tied-
in-
Yeah,
I mean, yes and no. There's a combination of things because they do photograph real environments, but
Yeah.
then also extend them.
Oh, well, no, I'm talking about like old school motion capture where they're just in like they're on a concrete floor. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like but I think even as recently as like Andy Serkis in the Lord of the Rings, it was just like, oh, I'm on a repurposed basketball court.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Planet of the Apes is different because they're doing motion capture, but they're filming it as part of the actual
Yeah, I
scene
think
they're
like
gonna
on
use.
location for the
Yeah,
most
there's
part.
enough
Yeah.
on location.
Yeah, that's interesting because like all the shit you got to paint out for that. Like, I mean, imagine if someone human, what's one of the performing actors' names? Is it Tony Kebbell or something like that?
Oh yeah, on the
Planet of the
we're still
Apes.
on the Planet of the Apes movies.
Yeah, like, you know, if he with his human face overlaps something on the person he's in front of, like, and they're gonna put, yeah, I mean, they're gonna put ape over that, but like if he ever blocks something with his human body that's not going to be covered by ape, which could happen, I think, like they have to paint that out and then replace it, or have to replace something that was never filmed. So that's fascinating.
Never filmed in the sense that like it was because
Yeah.
the background you have a clean plate.
Well, yeah.
Don't
I
they
mean,
film
like,
everything 3 times? Or I'm thinking when there's 2 people there.
Yeah, if they have motion control, because if the camera's moving, it absolutely has to be motion control so that you can repeat the same exact camera movement like multiple passes and do one that's a clean plate. Otherwise, now with AI, that's good for making clean plates, so they probably don't have to worry about it as
much. But with
much.
Avatar, that was the thing, is that you have moving camera that's capturing real thing in real environment, so you don't have to do do motion control, because they're filming a real thing, from what I understand. Because it was like one of the first CGI things where you had a little bit of the Bourne camera.
Yeah, I think what you mean is like it's filming the physical set where there's not a lot of there's a lot of markers on things and like tracking balls and stuff, but it's in real time. I think showing it on the monitor of this bunch of balls on the basketball court floor is the Pandora, where they're stepping and the purple lighting up and stuff.
Yeah,
like and showing you that in real time, and maybe even with the performers too. I forget, but I think that was the big innovation there.